he came in, and I think for Sam and Geena, when they finally meet, right, they essentially just kind of complete one another, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it comes across. Like, when they essentially are like, they're the type of, how can I put it? What I'm trying to say? They're like, for one another, the thing that each other needed other people to tell them, to them and say to them at that time. And that's what makes them like that's what made him so trusting of her ability to come and save him at the end of the day, right? He's like, I know it. He's like, I know you're going to blow some shit up and come and get me. So I'm going to be waiting here. Just come get me. You know what I'm saying?
And he goes flying.
Dude, I would love to like see a graphic, like, oh my God, a graphic of just the adventures of fucking Sam and Charlie, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, man.
So like, and like the daughter and the husband come along for the ride, and like in the process, they become accustomed to the life, and they start to learn about the life, and she teaches the husband how to protect himself and how to fight, and the daughter, and like, that would be such a dope graphic novel. They can go, you know, solving crimes and or something. You know what I mean? I think the character has there's so much good stuff that can be done with that character, with all of those characters, not just Charlie Baltimore, but like with Hennessy, with Charlie. I feel like a good graphic would be a good place to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Showing what happened after the first movie. Like, we do a time jump, like maybe 10 years, right? 10 years after the first movie. The daughter's old enough to be doing whatever she wants, you know, so it's not questionable. But like we say, a 10-year time jump, 5 years prior to that 10-year time jump, that's when they make the decision to like do this thing with Hennessy, and the husband's like with it because he's tired of living the suburban lifestyle.
And he loves her too, man. Remember that scene where he's like,
yeah.
the person you used to be, whatever you find, I'm not scared, I'll never be.
Exactly. So that's why he's like, I'm with it. He's like, that's even more of a catalyst for him to be like, yo, teach me, yeah. Show me, make me sensei, show me the way, right? And Charlie is gonna like, all right, I got you. You know what I mean? I'm with you, you with me, we together, like we there, right? So,
and he proved himself in that fight where, I mean, he gets destroyed by one eye, but at least he doesn't hesitate.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't hesitate. He runs in. He's like there for his woman. So, right, I feel like we just need to see more of their shenanigans, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, I would love that. Oh, that'd be so cool. We need to, you know, Victor Dandridge Jr. I should be like, hey man, write this graphic novel. He's a friend of mine. He was on the Deep Blue Sea podcast, the hardest working man in comics. We need to get him on that.
Yo, hardest working man in comics, do it. Like, yo, I got the story, I got the plot, got the through line. We could do it, right? It would be so good. I think her character, if it's done right, could be like the next big like action. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
Action star. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could, if someone out there is willing to bring Charlie Baltimore back and do it right and serve it justice and bring those characters back, I think it could be done so well and it'd be so dope. And like, honestly, it could be done in kind of the vein of Red, kind of like Red was like a serious action flick, but it was lighthearted at the same time, had that comedy, had that action, you know, had those melodramatic moments. You know what I mean? I feel like if you bring it back, and you can bring it back kind of with that, you know, still keep it grounded, but still have a little bit of that like lightheartedness to it. Cause it had a lot of heart, you know, even though it was this heavy action movie, it still had its moments where you laughed, you kind of giggled, and you were there in those moments with them when she's like, when they're trapped in the ice, you know, machine, the ice freezer or whatever. And she's like, we got this.
Yeah.
I planned for this moment, baby girl. I put gasoline in your pissy baby bottle, man. You know, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to blow shit up. Don't worry. Like, there's so much heart and so much soul to that movie. And it's a shame that they didn't. Yo, Renny, if for whatever reason you hear this podcast, like, come on, man, you got to do this. You got to bring back Charlie Baltimore. Get whoever you need to get together. Get the team. I can like meditate and bring good energy to it. Whatever. I'll be in the background.
Do some stunts.
I can do stunt work. I can come out of stunt retirement. Funny enough, I'm wearing my stunt team shirt right now.
Nice. Hey, so yeah, how about this, man? Let's talk about our 3 favorite moments of this film. So give me your 3 favorite moments.
All right, my 3 favorite moments, hands down, because they always pop in my head when I think of this movie. I say the first one is the scene where she's like cutting up the fruits and the vegetables and she starts balancing the knife on her finger and she throws the knife at the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was our introduction to who the hell Charlie Baltimore is going to be. So that scene to me always sticks out in my head. My second favorite scene is I said it earlier, when they're in the train station and then she jumps out the window and she shoot, like, that scene, the way they shot that shot where she's coming out and you see her face and you see it's her. You see it's not a stunt double. You see it's them jumping out in that one shot and she's shooting the ice. That's such a badass scene to me. And I think my third favorite scene, such a toss up. All right. So my third favorite scene was the scene where she's tied up and the little farmhouse or whatever to the water mill. And, the old boy's giving his, monologue and telling her how she ain't shit. And now he's going, you ain't going to stop nothing. And she's like, yeah, I got you, buddy. I got you. Keep talking. You don't even know what you're doing for me right now. You just bringing Charlie Baltimore out right now, bro. You don't even know. You're talking about every time you put me in this water, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. And she comes out and she, pops him with the gun. Bah, 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 bah. And that's when she's like, and that's when Charlie is back. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are my three favorite scenes. Although there's a lot of scenes in that movie, like the funny scenes, the pie scene. There's so many, but I don't want to take them all. Your turn. Go ahead.
Oh gosh. So I'll start with the pie scene because it's absurd and it just takes place after this incredibly violent fight. And I think it lets you know the tone quite quickly. Number 2 is just, I'm waiting for you to come save me. And then Sam Jackson gets blown through a building and through a sign and into a tree. Yeah. It's just, but it's cool, man. And then I'm going to lump in the scene too where she saves him again and he's just looking up through the grill grates or the grates of the thing. And then I guess my final moment, the final badass moment for me is, oh man. Dude, when she gets her hero moment at the end, when she shoots the light, pulls herself up, grabs a gun on the way up, and then just unloads a machine gun on a helicopter and kills the bad guy, and he dies screaming. And she promised him he would die screaming.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Just give me those moments. And she looks so... It's just... Dude, you know what's weird? This movie has the weird effect of being thrilling, but also depressing, because I wanted more. And we can't get more now. And I think the problem is okay, a lot of movies do become cult classics and they get sequels 30 years later, but those sequels rarely live up to it. I wish this would have been a massive hit and we could have gotten a sequel 2 years later. Like that's
true.
Like that's, but so it's a bittersweet where I love it and it has a cult audience. I mean, type in now, like there's some really great articles about this film on, let's see, Birth Movies Death. I think, the Mary Sue has a great article about it, just writing about how much they love it. Sam Jackson's promoting it, so people still are knowing about this movie. But man, I don't know. I want more.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. It's facts. I mean, it is bittersweet because, like you said, the movie came out, 20 years ago now at this point? Plus? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 20 plus years ago?
Yeah.
And there is something to be said about when movies take too long to follow up, and building off of that buzz that it had initially. One of the things I think, though, is good about now is that there are times when movies are brought back that are done well, or when I think it'll be done right. If it's done, it can be done right as long as they don't try too hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
No, I got you. Yeah.
If the studios don't try too hard to make it a thing, and just, have good marketing behind it, good advertising behind it, of course, good, action and good directing and all that good stuff. But, and of course, hands down, has to be a good script. I think you can definitely bring the movie back, bring the franchise back and bring new life to it. Because I feel like what they started with and what they ended with is good enough to be built off of and be built upon, right?
Absolutely.
And like I said, it's one of my top 5 like 90s action movies like of all time. So, um, I just hope that Sam Jackson, if you're out there, if you're listening, please make this movie happen. Make it happen. I mean, even if you have to do it in like a slow trickle, start off with like I said, a graphic novel or a comic book of some sort. More so a graphic probably would be the way to go. Because a comic, I don't think you would be able to, make that happen. But a graphic could definitely happen. And where we pick up, on the misadventures of Hennessy and Baltimore. I think that could be the title of it, Hennessy and Baltimore.
Yeah.
It could be a good series to kickstart the franchise or kickstart the property again, and kind of also be a thing to kind of give the series, or give the movie a more meat, I guess you could say, or more backstory. Shit, I mean, hell, I might do it my damn self. Like,
do it. Get a treatment going, man.
Yo, like, I'm literally thinking of all the things like you delve into with these characters, like giving her a backstory, building Charlie's backstory, building Sam's backstory, the places you can go with that, like the things you could do with that. Oh my God. And then like the after of it, right? Like, and have that opening story be kind of just like, this is the backstory to Charlie, to Baltimore and Hennessy, right? Or Hennessy and Baltimore, whatever you want to call it. Like, we could find out what she was doing before the movie, what her training was leading up to the movie, and how much of a badass she was out in these streets. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it could be so dope.
Well, dude, thank you for joining me, man. This was a lot of fun. Like, we got a lot of stuff to think about now, so I love it.
Yo, dude, every time I enjoy doing these with you, I appreciate it. And again, shout out to all the listeners who have been just tuning in to my episodes. That's what's up. That's really dope. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, I love talking movies with you. It's fun.
Yeah, we'll pick the next one. We'll just come up with an idea. Shoot me some messages, dude. I'll do whatever you want.
All right, I'm down. Let's do it. I think. Oh, and real quick, can I end on like three movie recommendation, female protagonist, badass
Yeah.
situation.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'd love to hear it.
All right, so I think most of y'all who've heard me on this podcast before know Villainous is one of my favorite action female-led movies. So check that out if you haven't. It's a South Korean movie. Excuse me. Second one is Hannah. Hannah is a pretty old movie at this point, but there's an Amazon show that has been made recently within the last 2 years or so, I think.
Yep.
Hannah is definitely another dope movie you should check out if you haven't. I'm pretty sure most of you probably listen have probably watched the movie by now at this point, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. Do yourself a favor. The third one, I think, and now the movie was kind of lauded, maybe, I guess. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a interesting take on like an alien movie situation. The Scarlett Johansson movie where she takes the drugs. She's like the
Lucy.
Mule. Lucy, yes. I just like, now granted, like, now people are going to nitpick about the science and how the science is accurate and all this other kind of, but I just thought the concept was pretty dope, and I liked how, she went from this, drug mule, defenseless girl to this like higher being, life form, using 100% of her brain to annihilate the world. So I just thought they're fun. I thought it was a fun movie. I didn't watch it for like character development or nothing like that crazy, but I thought it was a fun female-led protagonist movie. And of course, there's others. Atomic Blonde is also a dope movie. I enjoyed it as well. It's up there in the honorable mentions, but check them out if you haven't already. And I'll end it with that.
Yours are perfect. I love all those movies.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Kiyon, this is Movie Songs and Flicks. We'll see you next week.
Peace. Oh, and shameless plug. Check out my Instagram photography, Illadel PA Photog. That's ILLADEL PAPHOTOG on Instagram. Peace.
I'll tag that when I release the episode.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, man.